Hey, what's up guys? DomQuichotte.
Thank you. Welcome to another very exciting Photoshop tutorial. Today we're gonna show you how to retouch images in Photoshop, but we're also going to show you how to shoot live on set. We have our beautiful female models here, and we have our model, male model somewhere over there, and let's get started. It's a lot of fun.
What you waiting for? Come on, get on the floor. I hear you talking much, you gotta make a move now. Don't think about the day, let's dance another way. I came to show you how to let it go and get down. Let it go and get down. So stop complaining, cause I got you where I want you.
The basic idea was to create a picture book separated in 4 chapters. Each letter of the word plot represents one chapter, beginning with a P that stands for purpose. The story starts in a bar where we get introduced to 3 characters. There's this lonely guy on the right side, engrossed in thought, looking kind of sad. You know, probably something happened, maybe at work. So he's going into this bar, loosening his tie, smoking, and just trying to relax. In the background you can see 2 women, pretty opposing. One with long, straight black hair and tattoos, the other curly blonde. They are both watching the guy, making plans, whispering secretly, and you know, telling us that there's something about to happen. The interesting part about this image, and actually the whole book, is the color concept. While he is sitting in a warm yellow light, very clear, very soft, the girls are covered in smoke, illuminated by a hard, cold blue light. They look very spooky, almost devilish, so the roles are clear from the very first image. To achieve these color effects, we used 2 different strobes on a Hansel potty, an octabox for the soft warm light, and a foaming barn door with blue color gel directed towards the girls. We also used a zebra sunbounce mini reflector just to lighten up the girls' shadows and add a little bit more of that blue color. A reflector is a great addition to your strobes to form and control the light even better. Back to our plot, the next letter is the L for lust. So the girls are now at the bar, talking, laughing, flirting, touching, and trying to literally seduce the guy who still is reserved. But that's obviously their plan. They really want him to give off himself to them. And this picture does have a lot of symbolic meaning as well. It's the first picture in the book where the blue light actually hits him. He finally couldn't resist any longer the feminine charms. He knows he's going to sin, and the blue light accentuates this watershed. We also see the 2 different female characters. The blonde model with her curly hair and a cross ring on her hand reminds us of an angel. She's playing the innocent, whispering blandishments to the victim's ears. Only her blue nails, which obviously is the evil color, betray her. And then there's the opposite, her black hair bound together to a whip, fully covered in blue light with tattoos all over her body. She attacks from behind, blindfolding the guy. And that's actually where everything gets out of control. Now the girls hold the reins tightly, they have a hold on him, he's powerless, which leads us to the next character and chapter, obedience. They drag the guy into their playroom, you know, everyone has a playroom, and suddenly everything degenerates, literally. One thing you really want to consider, especially when doing photo series, is to use a color checker. You can't shoot right color without a color checker, and it helps you to have a consistent color in all of your photos. Let me quickly show you how it works. Once you've imported your images into Lightroom, you can easily adjust the correct color. First of all, select the picture with the color checker in it. You really want to make sure your assistant or the model keep the color pads clear and doesn't touch them with their fingers. Then go to File and export the image with the free color checker preset. You're being asked for a name, so make sure to label it sensibly. Then the plugin recognizes the color checker and creates a profile adjusted to this exact light setting. but you have to restart Lightroom to be able to apply the new profile. With the picture selected, switch to Develop, open the camera calibration and select the recent profile. See how the color changed. Now you can pick any of the images from this setting and add the new profile. If you are shooting fashion, for instance, you have to ensure that the color of the heels really match. That's the way to do it. Fast, simple, but very useful. Okay, back to our story. The girls get really crazy and start playing with the guy. They tie him up, they heat him up. And for the images in the playroom, we used a beauty dish as the main light and a small softbox to lighten up some spots. And again, a reflector helped us to get a little bit of a contour. Well, after the girls did all these weird things to the poor guy, the story ends with the character T for triumph. Obviously the girls won, but the beholder has to decide what they want and how to interpret the story. Finally, we are in Photoshop. I'm not going to do a step-by-step tutorial on how to edit this image. Since this is high-end retouching, it would take me way more than 10 hours to finish it. But I'm going to show you the most important steps and what you need to take care of in high-end retouching. Let's see the before-after. You see a huge difference, not only in color. Let's start with the picture straight out of the camera. You can hardly see details on the blonde model's body and face. The whole picture is too yellow, and even the red wall is more something of an orange. Nothing you'd want to work with in Photoshop. But thanks to Camera Raw and the color checker, we could adjust the colors and contrasts in Lightroom and ended up with this here. If we zoom in, we see one of the biggest issues, the skin. There are a lot of techniques out there that will teach you to retouch skin in only a few minutes. But talking of high-end retouching, you actually don't have a lot of options. I'm using frequency separation combined with dodge and burn to get a perfect skin. Frequency separation gives you the ability to edit details like pores, wrinkles, pimples and single hairs separated from the color. The details seen visually have a lot of noise, or what we like to call a high frequency. The color against this almost doesn't have any noise, that's why it's a low frequency. If I turn off my high frequency, you can see the blurred colors, gradients, highlights and shadows, but you can't see any details. Then on the other side, if I turn on my high frequency only, you'll see all the details but almost no color. Both frequencies together will recreate my original image. So let's say I want to edit the low frequency first, which is the layer with the colors. I'm gonna turn on the original image first, and let's see how a retouched low frequency layer will affect my image. The skin looks much more settled, but we still do have all of the details. If we are going to retouch the details or the high frequency, we get an almost perfect skin, like here. Let's take a closer look at the hair. Hair is the next big issue. They are really hard to control during a shoot, even with a good hair and makeup artist. There are just too many of them, so you really have to spend a lot of time to remove single hair, repaint new hair, and replace whole spots. Especially on the edges, they stick out and need to be removed, but it's really worth the time, as you can see. Or sometimes you want to adjust the shape, add more volume, make them fall softer, but they are extremely time consuming. But once you're done with the skin and the hair, I bet you'll be the luckiest person on earth. You can continue with smaller parts like nails. Sometimes you see perfectly retouched skin, but then you look at the nails and think, what's that? So I'm going to show you a fast way to smoothen nails. Copy the nails on a separate layer, then select the mixer brush tool and start to smoothen the nails by picking a color and dragging it. I'm using pretty high values for the brush, but you need to adjust these when you want to work more precise. I'm being very generous with my painting, and when I'm done, I create a layer mask and repaint the shape of the original nail with a white, pretty hard brush. Something like that. Some level adjustments to get more contrast, and we're good to go. Of course, this was very inaccurate, but you get an idea how it works. Well, don't forget that people have 2 hands, and people also have nails on their feet, so make sure to retouch them as well. Next, the teeth. Although these models both have pretty teeth, it sometimes is necessary to adjust them. In this case, we slightly improved the shape and smoothed the reflection to make them look even cleaner. For this, you can use a mixer brush as well, or some dodge and burn. Look how brilliant and charming they are smiling now. It's like you really want to get bitten, right? Well, next we spend some time on the eyes, the eyebrows, and the lips. Sometimes the lipstick blurs, or the lips don't look symmetrical, so you have to adjust the shape. Same with the eyes. You know, the lid looks odd, or the eyebrows need more hair. Well, and if all of that is done, you can start with global adjustments like contrast and color. So what I like to do is get rid of the big highlights, like on the blonde model's arm and the face, here and here, but it makes the picture kind of flat. And to give back the image its plasticity, I'm doing some dodging and burning on the body, but also on the face. And then I add a few more highlights, especially in the face, something you'll find in a lot of fashion magazines. And once you've come this far, you can start color correcting the image. Here we added more green to the reds to get this special skin color, and we also added more contrast and tried to get this high-end look. Well, altogether it took us like about 10 hours to get here. Definitely something you wanna apply to your vacation photos.
Hey guys, that's it actually. I hope you enjoyed our little tutorial. We had a lot of fun. My name's DomQuichotte. Take care. Ladies? Hello?